we're just going to bring up some of the senior staff at the International Hockey Federation to talk in more detail about these initiatives, what they mean, why they are necessary, and critically, what you guys can do to help them to be achieved. Okay, could you give an enormously loud welcome to our first two guests, Sarah Massey, who's the Events and Marketing Director of FIH, and David Lucas. Sarah, morning. David, hi there. Come and take a seat. We're talking about initiative number one, and this is something that you're both intrinsically involved with from different areas, and we'll talk about how you work together a little bit later on.
Well, there's really two parts to this initiative, so I'll just talk through them very, very briefly. Firstly, this is about our existing portfolio. So last year we assigned all of our events for the 2015 to 2018 cycle. So we know who all our hosts are, the dates, where they're being held. And now our job really is to work much, much more closely with those hosts than we probably have done in the past, and making sure that we're really continuing to improve the standard and the quality of our delivery of our events. But secondly, it's also about our next portfolio, our events for 2019 to 22, our global portfolio for that. And we need to start work on that very soon as well.
Now, we're using the word here, portfolio, and I'm always aware of the dangers of slipping into jargon. So just take a second. What exactly do you mean by portfolio?
Well, I think to start off with, I'll say it's not about calendar and it's not about just dates. It's about a lot more than that. It's really fundamentally looking, as Kelly said earlier on, it's looking at the mix of our events. And that's not just FIH events. It's the Continental Federation events and the National Association events. We almost need to take all of our events out of our portfolio, and we need to really look at which ones we're going to put back, where we're going to put them back, and how we're going to put them back. And we need to do that with everybody's input. We need to ask ourselves some questions before we put those events and that mix back in. You know, have we got too many events? Have we got enough events? Where does the short form format game fit in? Where do professional leagues fit in? What are the best formats? How many teams should take place in each of the events? So really very wide-ranging questions we're going to ask.
Well, I think the calendar is very congested at the moment. We have domestic leagues, we have Continental Federation events, we have FIH events, we have them over both hemispheres. So up until this point in 2014, we've had over 1,100 international matches played, which is an incredible amount of matches played. So what we want to do is deconstruct the calendar, make it more coherent, make it more understandable, have regular events at regular times of the year, and come up with something that is consistent and coherent as a calendar.
We're going to put in place a very good, robust structure for collaboration. To make sure that we're involving all of our stakeholders in those conversations. So obviously our STAR will be important to that, our sponsors, all of the national associations and continental federations. So it's going to be a really, really huge undertaking. But I think, as Kelly pointed out earlier on, this really is fundamental to making sure that we grow with those changes that we need to make for the game for the future. What
happens around the field of play is absolutely crucial to this. The sport is the most important component of any event. And as Leandro and Kelly have already mentioned, you know, we've embraced innovation as a sport over the years. We've got rid of the offside rule, we've introduced the self-pass rule. Recently, for international events, we've introduced quarters and stopping the time for penalty corners and goals. So we've embraced that innovation, and we need to continue to embrace that innovation so that sport that was codified 150 years ago is still relevant today and will be relevant in the next 30, 40, 50 years.
I'd like to ask both of you what you expect to see come out, what you want to see coming out of it from your own perspective, starting with you, David.
Well, I think it's the hockey community, it's the hockey family embracing what we're trying to do through this revolution, and pushing the boundaries and continuing to innovate, but recognizing that we can't compromise the integrity of the sport when we do that.
Okay, and Sarah?
Yeah, I think firstly, sort of in the short term, really looking. David sort of talked very much about on the field of play. I think we also need to work much more on the spectator experience around the venue. We really need to focus on making people want to actually come and watch our events. It's been mentioned already. you know, the amazing atmosphere that we all felt at The Hague with some packed stands and the great hockey park. And, you know, we really need to give that environment so that people really want to come and watch. And I think, you know, that's what will really help. And I think, secondly, and obviously most importantly for me, what will come out of all of this is that we have a must-see sport on television. And I think the true mark of success for any sport is their TV numbers and how many people are viewing your sport globally.
Absolutely. Now, that actually takes us very nicely into the next of our initiatives, which is all about world-class content creation and distribution.
Well, I mean, everybody, I think, is fully aware that we've signed an 8-year agreement and partnership with Star, which, you know, we are all really, really excited about. They're going to be responsible for the TV production of our major events, and they're also responsible for the distribution of our rights globally. And I think, you know, that speaks for itself in terms of the impact that that will have on the sport. I mean, the people from Star are here, so they will talk to you a little bit later about what they've done in other sports and obviously what their plans are for hockey. The production is fundamental, and we saw some great enhancements to our TV production in The Hague. Again, you know, with the spider cam, with the, you know, the super slow-mos, you know, the cameras in the huddles. That was really enhancing the television production. But there becomes a limit. You can't just add more and more and more cameras and expect that to enhance what you see. At some stage, we actually have to look and ask ourselves the really critical question of, is our game TV friendly? Mm-hmm. You know, is it what is being filmed, is that friendly enough for television? And, you know, we need to really say, well, are the rules, are they easy enough to understand for a TV viewer if you're not a hockey person? Is the game too fast for television? It's really kind of, you know, are there enough high points on television for the viewer? Really is looking at that quite critically, and obviously that's what Star will be helping us with. There have been several meetings already where we've introduced Star to our existing broadcasters. But I mean, the massive opportunity is that they can introduce us to lots more broadcasters who traditionally we maybe haven't spoken to or haven't been necessarily interested in taking hockey. And I think that, you know, that's where the massive opportunity lies. But, you know, yeah, there might be changes. In some territories, we might see hockey on different broadcasters than we did before. But if they're bringing extra programming to it, they're putting more resources in it, and that's okay, you know, because at the end of the day, if that's bringing more TV viewers and putting hockey out there globally, then that's okay. We will need to start looking at hockey on television and thinking, if I wasn't a hockey fan and I wasn't involved in the game, what would I actually think? What changes could I suggest to make? And looking at other sports and thinking, yeah, I want some of that in hockey, and then coming to us and talking about it.
Okay, guys, thank you very much indeed for that. There's great insights as we get through a discussion of the second of our 5 initiatives. Now, time to bring up some additional speakers. I'd like you to welcome, please, very loudly to the stage, Laura Hoyle and Richard Tattershaw. Laura, hi.
Hi.
Richard, morning. Okay, please. We're now going to shift focus a little bit. We've talked about events, we've talked about media, and in the next section, we're going to talk about marketing and partnerships.
Joined Up Global Marketing is really simple. It's basically about the idea that we all need to work together. If we work together and we say the same things, we'll make a much, much bigger impact. My initiative actually has 5 core areas: global marketing campaigns, consumer-facing PR. This is all around how we get from the back sport pages into the lifestyle media, engaged online communities, strong international relations, and creating superstars. At the moment, we're not doing enough. If we want to attract new fans, if we want more followers, we need to do a lot more marketing. We need to do it with commitment, and we need to be creative about how we're doing it. Today, I'm just going to talk about 2 of them. So the 2 I'll tell you about is global marketing campaigns and engaged online communities. So the first one, global marketing campaigns. This is about creating campaign toolkits at FIH. So we started doing this for some of our events. We did it for the Hockey World League. We did it for the World Cup. And we've now done it for the Champions Trophy. But it's about having one big idea, having one creative execution, and one positioning for either an event, or it might just be hockey in general. And then the idea is that we don't just execute this at FIH. Each and every one of us in this room will be able to take these campaigns and run them in your local markets. And it's not just for national associations. We're encouraging our athletes to take these and use them themselves. We're also creating it for fans so that fans can take it and use it. And even our TV partners. So we've started giving our TV partners TVCs so that they can run the campaign for us when they're going to show their broadcast. The second bit I'd like to talk to you a bit more about is engaged online communities. So digital presents a massive, massive opportunity for us to promote hockey. We don't have huge budgets, but in digital, you don't need big budgets. And the news is that's where the future of our sport is. That's where they hang out. That's where they want to talk to us. So digital is massive for us. We've made a really good start in social media. We're now the #3 federation on Facebook of every single Olympic International Federation. So we're pleased with that start. Overall, in social media, we're coming in at #5. That's not too bad too, but we're going to go after #1. We want to be the top federation in social media. Previously, our website's been very useful for, I guess, the hockey family searching for resources, but now we want to make it a fantastic platform to promote hockey. So it becomes designed really for fans. It's designed for newcomers. So if I come to the website, I've never seen hockey before, I'll see hockey and think, wow, that looks amazing. If I want to find out more about hockey, then there'll be videos that I can watch. So that if I'm going to watch a game, I can watch a 60-second video, and then I know what the game is about, which will improve my experience when I go to that game.
Now, let's move on to the fourth of our initiatives and introduce you to Richard Tattershaw. It's all about commercial partners, attracting commercial partners who share our vision. Richard, let's get back to basics. Why is this so important?
Good commercial partners have clout. They have capabilities, they have resource, they have image, they demand accountability from people they work with. So absolutely it is vital that we have commercial partners who share our vision and want to become part of our vision. It'll be very difficult for us, impossible I would say, for us to achieve so much of what we're trying to achieve without powerful commercial support. Because in the end, and that's FIH, and it's everybody here as well, we can only do as much as our resources allow. And our resources have even if we extend them 50%, they still have a box around them. Whereas good commercial partners can bolt on and create much more capabilities that we can bring in and drive our sport forward. We need to change our mindset to we need to make what people want. Now, we make it within a hockey framework, so we need to be creative and flexible and innovative and be willing to bend over backwards for our commercial partners and demand more from them for that. If we start viewing things with a commercial mentality, the decisions we make will be significantly different. If we view it from, because it's just like anything, if you view it from, in life, but in general, but in hockey, if I view it from a coaching mentality or a high performance mentality or grassroots mentality, or how I look at the world affects the opportunities I see, it affects where I put my resources. And so this is what, at the FIH level, and I encourage all our friends here to start looking at your hockey initiatives from a commercial framework. So what can I create, maybe in conjunction, that would have a value proposition? And I'd even go so far as to challenge, don't necessarily employ salespeople. Salespeople will sell a thing that you have. They will not do value creation. And unless you've got an amazing list of things to sell, it's going to be very difficult for that salesperson to be successful. I'd also encourage everybody to be very confident. We have an amazing Olympic high-performance level sport that is growing. Everyone has their own demographic. Okay, so you have a demographic. You have people deeply committed. This is me getting a little bit on my high horse, but
you're allowed. just for now, you're allowed.
But I get very enthusiastic. We have, as every sport does, we have something that people love to do. They love it. They'll put it in their top 3 or 4 things in life to do. Family, fishing, I don't know, Sopranos, hockey. They love doing, and brands, businesses don't have it. No one loves going and buying Pampers. No one loves doing that. Yeah. Okay? So they need us. Brands need the activities that connect with people to partner up with. So I would encourage us to change our mentality as well. Turn the switch. Turn the switch.
Okay, Richard, thank you for now. That was great. Very deeply insightful. David, you're back on again because we've got one more initiative to talk about during this session. It's about education and empowerment, and to a large extent, I would suggest, sort of underpins so much else that we're talking about. But please tell us about this initiative and why it's so important.
Well, this is very much the foundation block that sits underneath the other 4 initiatives. And it's about development, it's about working with the continental federations who we provide direct funding for development purposes. And what we've been doing over the past 4 years, but specifically over the past 9 to 12 months, is to work extremely closely with each continental federation to understand what it is they require, what it is in terms of development projects that they're looking to do, and make sure that strategically that our strategic plan, their strategic plan, and those of the national associations within those regions are fully aligned. And by fully aligned, it doesn't mean doing the same thing. It means making sure that what we do is understood by the continental federations, and that is understood by the national associations. So we could all be doing very, very different things, but we're pulling in the same direction to get the same end result. We've recently introduced the Targeted Assistance Programme, and that is something that's a pot of funding that we've produced at FIH for specific projects. And each and every national association can apply for that funding via the Continental Federation for those standalone projects as well. So it's something that can be very, very targeted, very focused, and very, very individualistic for each national association. On top of that, as we saw in one of the videos, the FIH Academy was launched this year, and that is a long-term project for us. It's something that a number of other international federations have done, but we really feel that providing that educational resource is extremely important to us as a sport, and whether it's relevant for the Hollands, the Englands, the Australias, it's going to be important for them, but it's going to be vitally important for some of those national associations and aspiring national associations who don't have the resources. So we provide that educational resource for them through the academy. As Kelly mentioned, I mean, some of the work that's been done on the high performance and coaching support, we saw Fiji, Bangladesh, Zambia, Mexico, all of whom have been recipients of high performance and coaching support over the years, coming through into the Youth Olympic Games. So we continue to do that. We're also looking to establish a structured approach to twinning programs between national associations. So we're getting the top-tier national associations to link up with some of the developing national associations as well in terms of the coaching expertise, equipment, and event experience that they can bring, and that's an important step forward for us. And on top of that, the whole facility provision bit, I know, is very important to people in this room, in terms of having the expert advice, and independent expert advice when you're putting down a new pitch, which manufacturer to go to, what is it that you need? Do you need sand-dressed, sand-filled, water-based? What kind of floodlighting system do you need? Now, previously, people are getting very, very different levels of advice from different people. And as Richard points out, if you go to a salesman, they'll try and sell you something. And generally, they'll try and sell you something that's top end and maybe not appropriate. So we've just appointed a facilities manager who will start in the new year, and he will be there to provide that independent advice for each and every national association and continental federation to come to us and make sure that the changing of facilities or the floodlight pylons are actually appropriate to the needs of that particular venue.
Okay, let's rewind just slightly and focus on the academy more specifically. Perhaps you can reiterate what its aims and objectives are, and a little bit about how it's been how it's been going at the coalface.
Yes, as I said, this is something that's an educational resource, and it's done via online and also face-to-face activities. We recently launched what we call Start Hockey, which is the generic online module, and we had 500 people already who have registered for that. We've had a couple of coaching courses that have taken place, one in Peru, one in Scotland, and through that we have 20 new trained coach educators, and these are the people who coach the coaches. We have 50 new Level 1 certified coaches. So we've made great strides in terms of doing this, but the coaching program is only one part of the academy. Over the next 2 years, we'll move into officiating, umpiring, and also the important point of sport management. And currently we have 3 people undertaking a postgraduate certificate in sport management, and those people are from the continental federations. And this is something that is important to underpin the sport with people who understand and provide that management expertise as we look to professionalize the sport. Given the investment that we have proposed, by 2018 we're looking to have 10,000 people registered on the Start Hockey program. We're looking for 800 certified coaches and 250 certified umpires. So we're thinking big, and we're pretty ambitious about that, and we hope to meet those targets. These services are available for you, and please use them.
Okay, David, thank you for that. So over the last 40 minutes or so, I hope you'll agree, we've had some great insight, and as we've drilled down into these 5 critical initiatives around fan-focused entertainment portfolio creation, world-class content and distribution, about joined-up global marketing, commercial partners who critically share the vision, and just now, education and empowerment programs. And they all feed back in, the successful delivery of these initiatives all feed back in to the goals, to the purpose, and to the ambition. And let's not lose sight of that ambition to inspire the next generation, because that's where the future of hockey lies. Before we close, I'd like to ask each of you, bearing in mind our ambition, just to highlight one element from the various initiatives that we've talked about just now, and why you feel that that's particularly important. And I think we'll finish with Sarah, but Laura, perhaps we can start with you.
The initiative I'm really excited about is actually David's Educate and Empower initiative. For me, this is really exciting. Next year, we're planning to create a portal, a really user-friendly portal that each and every one of you, every national association, continental federation will be able to access. And on this, we're going to put all of the tools and campaign toolkits to help you deliver on the initiatives that we're talking about here today. From a selfish point of view, I'm excited because my marketing campaign toolkits, my photo library, our brand assets, they'll all have a home that everybody can access, and it'll be really simple and easy to use.
I guess I get very drawn to the explosion of growth we've had in the online space. I just think that's the bedrock of communication. The world is an online world. People are online, and we need to flourish and communicate and gossip and inform and bring our players and our fans together, and that's how we will manage to do it. So I think that is, and I think it's not just, being the best we can be, we should aim to be the very best in that space.
I think that the Star Partnership will be that game changer. We'll have the hockey heroes, we'll have the global exposure, we'll have the more followers that we all desire, and we'll have those boys and girls wanting and willing to pick up that stick and play hockey.
I think there's really 3 parts. There's getting everything right on the field of play, accepting innovation, rule changes, anything we can do field of play to make it more exciting and entertaining. And we've always been very, very strong with our sport, technically delivering. But let's make that step change and make it more entertaining and bring the innovation in. Expanding out to the venue, the second part, let's really, really give our spectators an amazing experience when they're in the venue. And finally, on television, all those, globally, millions of people that will watch the sport. Let's really make some bold steps, bold changes, be really open-minded with our, with our portfolio, with the advice that Star can bring. And if we succeed on all those three fronts, then we really will achieve the ambition to become a global game that inspires the next generation.
Thank you guys for your contributions. Will you please join me in warmly thanking the panel?